Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about two-finger chord shapes. Specifically, what I call shape 1 and shape 2 chords, as well as what chords are in general, and also how these two shapes relate to one another. But first, let's just talk about chords. What is a chord? Well, a chord is two or more notes played at the same time. The most common chord is what's called a triad. A triad is named because it's made of three notes, each a third apart. A third, simply speaking, would be one letter to another, skipping the letter in between, such as C to E. C is the first letter, D is the second, E is the third. From 1 to 3 is a third. If you have a C, for example, you could then add E and G to make a C triad. So let's take a look at these notes on the fretboard. You have C as the root. E then is the third. Then we have G, which is the fifth, as in it's the fifth letter from C. C, D, E, F, G. And here's G. So again, we have C, E, G, C on the 3rd fret, E on the 7th fret, and G on the 10th. Notice the distance between the notes. Distances are called intervals. C to E is called a major third. It sounds like C, E. A minor third would be C to E flat. E is 4 frets away from C. So you have C is the third, then 2, 3, 4, E. 4 frets away equals a major third. 1, 2, 3, 4, C, E. 3 frets away, as I mentioned earlier. 1, 2, 3 is minor because it's smaller in size. Major, C, E, C, E. We often associate minor thirds with sadder sounds in a lot of Western music culture. C to G is called a perfect fifth. It's called perfect because it doesn't really have a major or minor sound. G is 7 frets away from C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 frets away equals a perfect fifth. So, knowing that the fretboard has repeated notes, we can create chord shapes to play the notes at the same time. So let's try it. Let's create a shape I call shape 1 by finding E on the 4th string at the 2nd fret. We can then combine that with C on the 5th string. This is called a major chord, a C major chord, because C to E is a major third. This is actually what defines chords as major or minor. The third from the root. This same shape is a major third over most of the fretboard. For example, we can play the same chord on 6 and 5. You can see that that is a C chord. Shape 1, or a major third. As I said, the shape works everywhere, with the exception of the 3rd and 2nd string, where it becomes a minor third. That's the major third when it's on the same fret. That shape 1 is a minor third on the 3rd and 2nd strings. This is due to the tuning relationships between the strings, where we use the 4th fret to tune B instead of the 5th fret on the other strings. All right, now using G on 4, let's make what I call shape 2, or a power chord. So grab G on the 5th fret of the 4th string, and then add that to C on the 5th fret 3rd string. This is the shape 2, which is a power chord. This interval is called a perfect fifth, and it sounds neither major nor minor. As I said earlier, it's the third of the chord that determines whether it's a major or minor chord. For example, I'm playing a C major chord. If I change the third, which was E to E flat, it sounds minor. Like before, this shape also works on 6 and 5. Also, this shape is always a perfect fifth, with the exception of the third and second string, where it becomes a tritone. You'd have to stretch it out 1 fret to get a perfect fifth on the third and second string. This is because of the same reason as before. The tuning relationships between G and B is not a perfect fourth. It's a major third. All right, now it's time for you to draw and work on these chords on your own. Find your 2-finger chord sheet in Files, and it looks like the sheet you see there to your left. Notice that the shape 1 chords are already named in the keys of G, C, and F. So let's draw the shape 2 chords onto your sheet. For example, for C, like we saw before, we'll use the G on the 4th string. Circle the G, then draw a dotted line to C to show shape 2. Let's do another. For F in the key of C, find the note 1 string over, 2 frets down, which is also a C, but an octave higher than the other C you just found the shape 2 chord for. Circle the C, then draw a dotted line to F to show shape 2. So continue doing this for every chord on the page in all the keys. If you have trouble figuring out what the fifth is in relation to the root, you can use the completed fretboard diagram to help you name all the notes that you're drawing the dotted lines to. All right, looking forward to seeing your work.